1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome back to Owls Only, an Adult Swim podcast. I'm your host, Bryce Hope, and penis. I'm here with my co-host,
Alex. Pick the word. I hate that fucking joke.
Why? It's funny.
You do it too much.
Yeah, because it's funny.
There was a period like a year ago where, like a year and a half ago, where he would make that joke like 4 times a day.
Because it's funny. Name a funnier word.
All right.
Okay.
Stop playing footsies with me, dude.
Look, we don't have a lot of room to. We don't have a lot of like recording room. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So, first, before we jump into what we're talking about, Mission Hill, obviously. But before we talk about Mission Hill, I'm gonna do some Adult Swim news. I'm running out some Adult Swim news.
Yeah, take it away.
JJ Villard is making new Kingstar King toys, apparently, which is cool because the only Kingstar King toy that exists, there's only 35 of them. So just by virtue of them putting more into circulation, ups my chance of getting one by like 1,000%. Ballmasters Rubicon. Go ahead.
What do they go for? What do the one of the 35 go for?
I have yet to find one on sale. Probably be easier to get a hold of it and then get a hold of that one fucking Steven Universe Peridot thing, but none of my business. Fucking Ballmasters Rubicon now streaming on HBO Max. Everyone needs to watch that because it's fucking good. If you have more time and make you watch it. Joe Para podcast is still going on. I fucking love it. It's so good. YOLO Silver Destiny has had its finale. They did a 33-minute finale, which is weird.
It's over now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the at least this season. I don't know about the series. The series is probably over, but like the season is over.
Sure.
They did like a 33-minute finale, which was interesting. But fucking Royal Crackers comes out April 2nd. You want to watch Royal Crackers, dude?
Yeah, I'll watch it.
We'll see. Just kidding. I don't want to watch it.
Well, last I checked in on it, we like didn't really know what it was.
Yeah, it looks okay. It looks fine. It looks a bit like a Netflix cartoon, but it looks fine.
All right then.
Primal Season 2 Blu-ray is out April 25th, and Rick and Morty Season 6 Blu-ray is out March 28th. Okay, one more segment. So I started this with Hunter on the 12 Ounce Mouse episode, where I try to recap what happened on the most recent animation domination to whoever's next to me.
Okay.
And I try to do it without looking at anything.
All right.
So this will actually be pretty easy because a lot of these stuck in my mind, and I was like sober when I watched them.
I haven't seen any of them.
Well, yeah, of course not. So Simpsons episode was actually really fucking good. It's like Simpsons this season is either just like the worst of the night or the best of the night. And this one was actually the best of the night. It was really fucking good.
You've been saying to me recently, like, this episode of The Simpsons was good.
Yeah, because they've been making a lot of really good ones recently. The concept was like Homer and Marge got sick of Bart being like an asshole, and they're like, oh god, do we not like our son? Because we love our son, but what if we didn't know him? And so then they get
actually a really interesting premise.
Okay, but think about this. Then they get transported into an alternate reality where Bart exists, but he's not their son. And so like Homer and Marge are like successful, but they just have Lisa and Maggie, and then they like find Bart in like the rain and hit him with their car by accident, and he has like amnesia and stuff, so they adopt him. And then like you get to see like what their relationship to Bart is if he wasn't their son.
It's kind of crazy.
It's super interesting.
I might like watch that.
Yeah, we'll watch it next time. It's really good. The Great North was like about sausage costumes.
All right.
I don't really remember too much. I like the Great North, but it is mostly just like there until Bob's Burgers comes on.
The same guys, right? Or same art style, at least?
It's the same people, and it's a lot of I don't want to shit on the Great North. I like it a lot, but I do think that a lot of it does feel like rejected Bob's Burgers scripts to the point where, like, when characters are saying lines, I'm like, that's a fucking Gene line. Like, that's a Louise line.
Not a great sign, then.
Yeah, but it's not a bad show. I think it's good. It looks good.
Everything has
Good cast.
Everything has creative value.
Yeah. Bob's Burgers was fuck. Oh, okay. It was Tina was trying to impress like this group of teenagers or something. I actually like that one a lot. It's hard to describe exactly what happened, but like they go to like a Greek restaurant, and the fucking Louise and Jean subplot was disgusting. It was like Jean had these horrible like disgusting smelling socks, and then Louise bet him he couldn't wear it as like a tie essentially.
Yeah.
So he did it, and then Louise also started doing it because it became like a bet type thing. And then they're both, yeah, we have like horrible rashes. We need to take these off. Yeah, that was like a fucking, that's like a home movies joke. That was funny. But good episode. The Family Guy one was about Meg playing basketball, and it was just I don't know why, it was just the funniest fucking episode of like the show.
Yeah,
like
Family Guy's funny.
Not actually, but like just it was
Is this
so.
the one you were texting me the quotes from?
Yeah,
All right.
so funny. Like every time they bring in Principal Shepard, who's like their principal, is voiced by Gary Cole. He's so fucking funny. Like he's such a good
I
character.
was watching season 1 Family Guy the other day, and I completely forgot they had like a different principal.
Do they?
Oh yeah.
Are you sure it's not Principal Shepard?
Unless they completely redrew and recast him, yeah.
Are you sure that you're not thinking of like Peter's boss?
No, I'm positive.
Okay, well I'll need to check my sources on that.
All right.
Okay, so what we're actually talking about today is
Wait, I have a question before we move on.
okay.
What happens if you like can't recall? Like, do you like lose the segment?
I don't know. Good. I don't think I'll ever be able to like fully not remember.
No, you have to stop talking for the rest of the podcast if you lose, and then your guest has to carry it.
Okay, that's a punishment for the guest. That's not a punishment for me. That's here. Talk about Mission Hill for an hour.
I love this show. I'm not prepared. You got the notes.
Well, what we're really talking about today is we went to A Night in Mission Hill, which is a road show that Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein are doing. And Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein, for those who don't know, are they were the showrunners for season 7 and 8 of The Simpsons, my favorite seasons. And so around this time is when people, in the first like 10 years of The Simpsons, you would showrun for like 2 years, then you would pass off to somebody else. Like that's how it worked. And so Bill and Josh did their 2 years, like 7 and 8, and then they moved on to make their own show, like most Simpsons showrunners did back then. And so they make Mission Hill, which is this wonderful fucking show. Everyone who listens to this knows what Mission Hill is. It's a wonderful show. It aired on the WB, and it got canceled immediately, and aired the rest of its episodes on Adult Swim. And so it is an Adult Swim show. Like it's on the plate right there. It's on the plate. It's on the mural that has now been torn down. Like it is 100% an Adult Swim show. And because most of its episodes aired on Adult Swim, like 4 episodes aired on the WB, and like 8 aired on like Adult Swim for the first time. So
so it's an Adult Swim show.
Yeah, even though they don't have the rights to it anymore, it is an Adult Swim show.
Who has the rights now?
Nobody. Like it's not anywhere. Like that's part of the reason why they're allowed to do this, because like they said multiple times, Warner Brothers does not know that they're doing this, and so they're like, yeah, don't tag Warner Brothers. Like don't tell Warner Brothers this is illegal.
Yeah, it was funny. The very first thing they said is anyone in the audience law enforcement?
Yeah. But no, Mission Hill. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong. But Mission Hill is not on Hulu. It's not on HBO Max. It's not on the Adult Swim app. I don't even think it's on like Crackle or Tubi of any of those. Like you can watch it on YouTube, and you can buy the DVD. And I think you can probably, I'm sure you can buy it on like Amazon or something.
YouTube is the place where I found Mission Hill.
Yeah, tell that story.
Yeah, so when I was in high school, it was my junior year of high school. I was hanging out with my friend Robbie, who we were gonna try and get on this episode, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
We were just on YouTube one day, and we came across Mission Hill, and we watched like 3 episodes of it, and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool. It seems like an Adult Swim show." So I texted Bryce, and I was like, dude, you know about the show Mission Hill? And then I like included a very short summary. He was like, yeah, I do know about that show. It's an Adult Swim show.
What's crazy is that's around the time when I watched it for the first time too.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
Because that was around like 2016, and that's when I watched it for the first time. Which I did watch it just because, like, you know, Adult Swim.
We liked it. Like I remember Robbie and I we watched like 3 or 4 episodes in one sitting.
It's a great show. It's like Mission Hill is very much. I always say this is that the two successors to The Simpsons are King of the Hill and Futurama, and King of the Hill and Futurama are both spun off entirely from Simpsons writers. And I think that Mission Hill was destined to be like the third show of that sort of like trinity of like King of the Hill, Futurama, King of the Hill, Futurama, Mission Hill. But Mission Hill just got cut short because they said they had plans for 10 seasons of this show. Like, which is insane, and I really wish we could have gotten that, because I feel like that would also, I don't know, something they do say that I do kind of think about a lot is that it did not start off as a period piece, but now they say it kind of has to be a period piece, because Bill said specifically during the live show that they never want to, like, Mission Hill could never cross the threshold of 9/11.
I don't know if that's something that he says often, but like you've been saying that for years. Like I don't know if you picked that up from him or not, but
I did.
Okay, because I was about to say like you've been saying that for like 3 years.
Yeah, like Mission Hill is a show that very much exists in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and it is kind of I wonder what this show would have looked like if it continued
Until,
like
2009.
Yeah, if it continued and like they didn't stop for 9/11 because like they couldn't, you know what I mean? Because like obviously it gets canceled in 1999 before all the episodes air, but like I wonder what this show is like if it's still being made in like 2005. Like what is Mission Hill if they're on season like if they're on like season 4 and like it's during like, you know, the Iraq War and stuff like that? Like what is this show in that era? I think would be really interesting.
Would it have survived? Like,
yeah, I mean, King of the Hill and Futurama survived.
Well, right. I mean, but this show like takes place in. You said it's a mix of.
It's a mix of various cities. It's kind of like all the coolest parts of like L.A., Chicago, and New York.
See, because it struck me as a New York type city.
Yeah,
and like, I don't know. I feel like it may have been too close to New York.
Possibly, but
still good though. I mean, it definitely deserved to have gone the whole 10 seasons.
Yeah. But so anyways, yeah, Bill and Josh have been going around the country, and they show a couple episodes in like a theater, and then they do a Q&A, they do a trivia contest, and they do a meet and greet. And so these tickets are insanely cheap. They were $60 for the VIP.
Yeah.
And so that's
with the meet and greet included.
That is $60 for like, you know, meeting Bill and Josh. They sign a thing that you bring. They take pictures with you, which we forgot to do.
Yeah, we did forget to do that.
We forgot to take the pictures because we were too excited. But so they do like all of that for $60 is an insanely good price. And so anyways, they did the show in DC, and DC is actually their hometown, which is awesome.
Well, they did in Arlington technically.
Well, yeah, but like it's the poster and stuff is for DC. It's the DC showing.
I'm just being an asshole.
But so they did it in Arlington, but like with the DC area is their hometown. And what was really interesting is we got there and they had like an entire row reserved for their high school friends.
Oh yeah, they were like, and who is here from our graduating class? An entire row of people were like, yeah,
yeah, that was awesome. But so what we brought to sign was, so the first Simpsons DVD I ever got, the first real one, is the season 8 Maggie Head DVD, and that's one of their seasons. And so I brought that because like I needed them to sign that because that was like the thing that got me into Simpsons and like changed the way my brain looks at comedy forever.
And Josh poked fun at the design of it.
Oh yeah, because like that's
the one that can't fit on your shelf.
Yes, Josh, because that is a huge thing with Simpsons fans is the season 6 Homer head, because season 6 was released only as like the Homer version of that.
Yeah.
And fucking people had like a fucking meltdown about it.
Okay.
Like they had a meltdown so bad that Fox started sending out like rebates to people could like send in their DVD and get like a regular box back. And they never sold. So here's the craziest thing. I somehow own the normal one that's not the head because my mom bought all 10 seasons, like the first 10 seasons in like a massive fucking like a lot from like the Fox website in like 2013 when that still existed, like the Fox store. And that season 6 DVD is like, as far as I know, practically impossible to get a hold of, like the one with the like matching case. So it's crazy that I have that because like
that's cool.
those cost like upwards of $100 now because I think they only sold them like on the Fox website for like a little bit or something like that.
Or through rebate.
Yeah, but the rebate is the thing is the difference between mine and like the one with the rebate is that the mine has like the little flap on the top. The rebate is just like it's empty in the top and you just put the Homer head in.
Huh.
So it's just, but yeah, people.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
But but every season subsequently, they did like one season 7 regular, one March head, one season 8 regular, one Maggie head for the rest of like the DVDs.
Thought of them being like, oh shit, we have to do a fucking rebate program for this is kind of funny.
Because DVDs were huge back then,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Simpsons DVDs were like the biggest of all. Like Simpsons DVD, like that's the thing that because I know when
what period was this?
2000s,
Okay.
like early 2000s, like when they announced they're getting rid of the Michael Jackson episode, and people were like, hold on to your season 3 DVDs, there's going to be worth a lot of money. No, they're fucking not. Do you know how many season 3 DVDs exist in the United States of America?
Yeah.
There's probably more season 3 DVDs in the United States than there are like people in New York. You know what I mean? Like they've printed millions of those fucking DVDs.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the other thing we brought is so Creamy Media on Instagram and Facebook makes these wonderful VHS bootlegs, and one of them he made was for Mission Hill that includes the original music put back in and also includes like Adult Swim promos and stuff like that. So I bought that. Alex had that signed.
Yeah, that was the thing I brought to get signed.
Yeah, we had them take it out and draw on like the inside, and so I feel like it's definitely a touchy thing where I feel like some people like you wouldn't want to bring a bootleg of their show to them, but Bill and Josh have stated multiple times in the past they don't care about bootlegs. They think they're cool, and obviously he
took it out of my hand. He
Yeah.
was like, "Is this a bootleg?" And like took it out of my hand.
Yeah, Bill was so excited. He was so excited to see this, and he also loved that they loved that they had the original music in it because also this showing, like the showings they're doing around the country, they screen the episodes in 4K because an anonymous fan did like a 4K restoration of it, and then they also put the original music back in because the DVD doesn't have the original music, but the VHS,
Yeah, I knew that.
the VHS does.
The YouTube videos? No, because they're just ripped from the DVD, right?
It depends. And I feel like it depends on the YouTube video you're watching because there's a bunch of them online. I think some of them do, some of them don't.
Okay.
But like the original music is easy to find, and like some people will sync up. They do this with like Clone High too, and like Daria. Some people will sync up like the audio of the YouTube rips of like the channel rips with like the visuals of like the DVD rips to make like the best experience,
Okay.
which is probably what I think Krumi did. But
That's cool.
yeah, so we got those signed. And so we get the, oh my God, remember that Mexican restaurant we went to beforehand was so good.
Yeah, it was good. It was like attached to the same building.
Yeah, it was like attached to the same building. What'd you get? You got nachos?
Yeah, I got asada nachos.
I got a fucking quesadilla with avocado in it, which is good.
Yeah, dude, that quesadilla was nuts. It had like mustard, avocado. I don't know if you read the thing.
I read it.
It had mustard, avocado, onions.
It was good as fuck though.
Yeah, it was good.
And we also chips and queso, so fucking good. The Mexican restaurant, so good.
Yeah, if
anyways,
you're ever in Arlington for any reason,
go there. Fucking rules. So we get there and we're waiting outside, and I just remember they were testing like the audio. I remember just hearing the Mission Hill theme come out of like speakers. It was weirdly surreal because this is the kind of thing that like it feels like nobody on earth gives a shit about, and then you just hear like, oh yeah, that's the fucking Mission Hill theme coming out of like movie theater speakers.
They had a good turnout too. Like the entire thing was full.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. But so they showed the 3 best episodes, or not 3 best. They showed 3 great episodes. They showed the pilot. They showed Unemployment Part 2, which is my favorite episode, and they showed the finale, which is about Gus and Wally. It's almost like a backdoor pilot for Gus and Wally. Like,
yeah,
it was good. But Unemployment Part 2 is
yeah, I did feel like that now that you mention it.
Yeah, Unemployment Part 2 is my favorite episode of the show because like the entire thing is just about like that existential anxiety you get in your 20s when you don't know like what to do with your life after college, and I don't think any show has done it in a better or more upsetting fashion, and it fucking rules. I love it. And
I liked the episode. I don't think I'd seen it before.
Yeah.
But I liked it. Yeah, I have not seen this whole show. I've seen like probably 2/3 of it.
Well, your favorite is the pilot, right?
I really like the pilot.
The Grubermeister?
The pilot's fucking funny. Yeah, the Grubermeister. That is my favorite joke in the that I've seen in the whole show. It's just so fucking funny.
Fucking love that. Fucking love that episode. But it's such a good pilot too, and I do think that
It's such a good pilot that like until we had done the rewatch, I didn't know it was the pilot.
yeah,
Like it just felt like just a good like an episode of the show.
yeah, but like it's the pilot is also kind of similar to Futurama because you have this wonderful sequence where Andy is just like walking through the streets of Mission Hill, and it is kind of like Fry walking through the streets of New York in the first episode. And
Yeah.
I do kind of think that Bill and Josh said that the music is 10% of the show. I mean, it's their show, so who am I to disagree with that? But I
Yeah.
do think that I feel like I still get like most of the experience from watching it on DVD. But seeing that sequence of Andy walking through Mission Hill in like a theater with like the real music put back in, it was fucking magical.
Oh, the music was great. They said they just got indie artists from like Atlanta, right? Or not Atlanta. Wherever they were when they
It's
got
mostly
it done.
just like just like 90s artists essentially because this was in the
What was
era.
it? Like I know Cake did the intro, but they said they got like logo artists for some of the. That's why they're so hard to find, and that's why they're like not on
Maybe.
Spotify and stuff.
No, I think they are. I just don't think there's. I don't. What they're. Someone asked if they're like a playlist for the soundtrack, and they don't have a playlist for the soundtrack, but you can make one yourself. Is what they said because it is on Spotify.
I misunderstood then.
But you know, because this is the same era as like Smallville and the WB, where it's just like in the credits they would just like because they would things like Smallville would be using like tracks and stuff like that, or just like like songs that were popular at the time,
Right.
because nobody was thinking about like fucking like DVD sales and shit and like licensing. But yeah, so the music was so good. It was surreal seeing Mission Hill in like a theater screen. Like it was awesome. We got the VIP tickets. Like I said, they're very very low price, $60. So we were like front row essentially.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Like we were right there. It was great. And so they did a lot of really fun stuff where in between the episodes they would talk about kind of talk about like what episode just played.
Oh yeah, or they'd share like an inspiration for a character or something.
Yeah,
Just,
but
like,
they talk
part of the process.
yeah, they talk about like what episode was coming up next and stuff. Like they talked a lot about Gus and Wally, because Gus and Wally is the failed not failed. It's like it is so far everyone's rejected it. It's because I think they've given up because every streaming service rejected it. It is the
Should have asked.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they've given up
Yeah.
because like I think he said on Twitter earlier this year, they're like someone asked like, so is that it, and he was like, yeah, unfortunately.
Oh man.
I know, because like Gus and Wally was going to be essentially the same show, but instead of focusing on like Andy and Kevin and also featuring Gus and Wally, it would focus on Gus and Wally and also feature Andy and Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
And it would sort of be about like alternative culture throughout like the 20th century, which is a fucking great idea for a TV show.
Oh, I'd watch the shit out of that.
Like it makes me thinking about that just makes me kind of pissed off, because like it's such a good idea for a TV show. It's something that nothing in animation is doing. Like nothing in animation is exploring like real world history like that, and like real world like alternative like gay culture
Is that
like
the
that.
direction they wanted to go in with it?
Yeah.
Like real world.
I mean what alternative culture was like in the 20th century, especially for like gay people.
Yeah,
like
I would have watched the fuck out of that.
no show is doing that right now, but it's fuck.
There's a market for it. Why? Someone pick it up.
I know it is sort of like,
if you're listening to this and you're an
because
executive,
you
pick it
know
up.
companies love to only care about like gay people during like June or whatever.
Right.
But you see those Hulu ads that are just like, watch our LGBT stories this month. It's perfect. It's perfect for
Right.
that. It would be great. It's fuck. We're just gonna the way television works is we're just gonna keep getting Futurama, Beavis and Butthead come back every couple years till we're all fucking dead. Who fucking cares? I mean, I love both those shows. Futurama is my third favorite show ever.
We're moving past the 80s circle jerk and we're getting the 90s circle jerk.
Not
now.
even. It's not even like 90s circle jerk. It's just forever constant circle jerk of everything.
Yeah.
It's forever constant circle jerk of everything. But like Mission Hill, but like fucking Gus and Wally, or like the Moral Oral show Moralton, like none of that's ever going to get made, even though it would be like the most interesting thing to be on television that year. We just have to be happy that things we do like get made. But
I mean, yeah, we still have them.
But So they're selling some pretty awesome shit there too. They had an amazing artist. Let me find what her Twitter is because I'm going to her.
Yeah.
It's at Drawkey. So at DRAWCKIE, and she makes what are her pronouns? She. Okay. She makes these fucking awesome posters for the Mission Hill shows. She makes just
Did
dropped.
she make every single one of them?
So far, there's only been two, I think. It's
Ah.
just the DC and New York one. She just dropped the New York one. It's amazing, but the DC one is probably gonna be the cover art for this episode. And just as some, even though DC kind of sucks, just because it's the home of just the American government. But even as someone who grew up in DC, it is very cool to see show specific art for that. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Andy is wearing essentially a Nationals hoodie, and it's they got the Washington Monument behind him. It's cool. I like it.
Oh, I didn't even notice the Washington Monument behind him.
Yeah. It's fucking it's a great poster. I love it. The New York one is also really good. So follow her. She does amazing work. But
what was that again?
it was at Drawkey. So at draw the CKIE.
Okay.
Combination, I'm assuming combination of draw and Jackie.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they were selling that. They were selling all those posters, all the DC ones were signed. So I got one of those. It was $40, but it was totally worth it because another signed item from Bill and Josh. So we got that. They're also selling buttons. I got a button that was really nice, and the buttons were going towards some sort of charity. I think,
it was
right?
local art charities.
Yeah, it was local art charities. They also had a poster, another poster that was really good, that had Bill and a Mission Hillified version of Bill and Josh on it.
That one was not signed.
No, those ones were not signed. Those were only $20. But so they're selling all kinds of cool shit. And so then they did a Q&A, and I was the first one they called on. I was the first question they called on.
Yes, that's true.
And I asked them about Mission Hill Light and Mission Hill Dark, and it was a very what's the fucking word I'm thinking of? It was a very affirming experience to have Bill's.
That is a perfect word for that. Yeah.
Bill's face lit up when I said that, because you can tell that people probably don't bring it up to him a lot, and I don't know why. I remember hearing about that on a podcast years ago, and it just stuck in my brain because Mission Hill Light is a alternate version of the future where Andy's life came out great, and the Mission Hill Dark is an alternate future where it came out horrible. And both Mission Hill Light would have a very bright color palette, and Mission Hill Dark would have a very dark color palette.
See, it's fun. This is why I do this podcast with you, is because 90% of my exposure to all of this stuff is through you.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a thing people knew about.
Yeah.
Because you told me.
Yeah.
So I was you and I have had several discussions about Light and Dark.
Yeah.
Just because I thought it was a more or less mainstream thing.
No, but yeah, it's it's something he only mentioned once, I think. But yeah, Mission Hill Light and Mission Hill Dark, they didn't do it because like they said, comic books take a lot of time and don't pay well, so they ended up not doing it.
Yeah, that's a direct quote. He said that.
Yeah. I would have loved to see that. I just want to see more of Mission Hill in anything, because one of the favorite things I love about Drawkey's posters is that they're so when you look at it, it gives me the same feeling as logging onto Twitter and seeing a poster for something for a new movie. When I log on Twitter and see poster of a new the Bob's Burgers movie, or for the a new season of Venture Brothers or something.
I get what you mean.
It's you see these characters again. It's whoa, holy shit! I haven't seen these characters in so long. But because she replicates their art style perfectly.
Oh, I thought it was a reused asset.
Yeah, she replicates the art style perfectly. I kind of want her to draw the DVD cover, because I like the DVD cover. It's fine, but I feel something similar to these posters would have been an amazing DVD cover.
The dot on the eye.
Yes, Posey is the dot on the eye. But Posey, great character. Her voice actress Vicki Lewis has just announced she's going to be at the New York one.
Oh, that's cool. That's actually really cool.
Yeah. Posey's a great character. Posey is definitely the one that they got to do the least with throughout the series, but even in those animatics episodes, they had her doing more.
I was going to say, I'm sure they would have done more if the show went on.
Because what they kind of build with Posey is that she starts off as kind of just a hippie girl, but then her thing is she can also be super cruel, and also sometimes very capitalist, which is funny. But
I mean, it can. Never mind.
But,
I won't get into that.
but there's like a there's in like the animatics or like the scripts, like there's like 5 unproduced scripts you can read online. There's like 5 more Mission Hill episodes essentially.
I knew about those. I've never read them though.
Yeah, one of them is like everyone's fighting about like where they want to go on like a trip, and Posey like strategically like breaks down everyone until they agree to go with her idea. Like if she does it like very manipulatively in the background, it's fucking awesome.
Posey's my favorite character.
I like Posey. I don't know if Posey's my favorite character. I kind of, it's a basic bitch answer, but I like Andy, and I also like love Gus and Wally. One of the best moments was because they played the pilot, and when you first see Gus and Wally in the pilot, they're like making out in the elevator, and when the elevator doors open, everyone in the theater started clapping.
Yes,
that was really fun because Gus and Wally are like, I mean, it does make sense that if you're gonna bring it back to do like a hold on, it's a computer freezing.
Yeah, just give it a second, because if the audio is going to cut out, I'd rather us be silent so we can see when it comes back.
Hold on, I'm going to press stop.
Don't touch anything.
Okay.
Just let it go. And remember to edit that out.
Okay, no.
What?
No, they'll live.
All right. We've never made any mistakes in our lives, actually, believe it or not.
I'm not going to edit this podcast. What do you think I am? But
enjoy that gap.
I'm not going to edit a podcast, but it's an Adult Swim podcast. Like they would leave this conversation in like an episode of like Space Ghost or something. True. It's fine. Okay. But anyways, so what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about Gus and Wally. It does make sense that you make them like the character you make your like spin-off about, because they are like the two most I feel like the characters that people remember the most from this show. Because that's true. They're the first male gay kiss on TV, and they won the.
Is that true?
That is true.
Did we fact check that?
Yes, that is true. They won a GLAAD award for that.
Oh no, I mean that's great. I just didn't know if it was the first.
No, yeah, it's true. I mean, like, there's definitely, I'm sure there's like lesbian kisses before then.
There definitely are.
Yeah,
I googled it and all I could find was information about that.
Yeah, but this is the first like gay male kiss on TV. But yeah, it was fucking pilot episode, so good. Unemployment Part 2, so good. And like I said, they aired Gus and Wally episode last, which was awesome. So yeah, I asked the question about Mission Hill Light and Mission Hill Dark, which Bill was very interested about. There's a couple other questions. Some of them were pretty good. Some of them were kind of annoying. Like some of them were a little bit annoying.
Well, the upside of that is the annoying ones I don't remember. So
the thing is about all Q&As is that all Q&As kind of inherently suck because fans kind of inherently suck. Like, yeah. So I always, whenever I think I may be in a Q&A, like I don't have a lot of...
happen to find yourself into random Q&A.
Yeah, I have Q&As. I have like Q&A questions like loaded for like shows that I like.
What's your Family Guy one?
I don't have a Family Guy one.
What's your Simpsons one?
Ooh, I don't know if I have a Simpsons one.
What's your American Dad one?
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's the two I can pull obviously is the Mission Hill one, which is the Light and Dark one, and then my Venture Brothers one, which is I think that Hank's learning bed is hooked up to cable instead of the Jonas Venture thing. I posted that on Instagram because they asked for questions because I think they're gonna either do like a live stream or do like or they're reading questions on the movie commentary or like a bonus feature or something. But
this is a genuine one. Do you have one for Aqua Teen? And then I'll drop it. Because I feel like you would have one for Aqua Teen.
Oh, yes, I got one for Aqua Teen, but I didn't get to... Someone else asked it for me at the Comic-Con.
That's cool, though.
I mean, they didn't ask it because I told them to. They asked it coincidentally. Right, it's the same thing. But my Aqua Teen one is, like... I don't know if I could ever get a serious answer out of them because the Aqua Teen guys will not answer seriously to anything. It's true. It's literally true.
I believe you.
But I wanted to know if Death Fighter was real or if it was just a shitpost. And some guy asked me that. Some guy asked before the world premiere of Plantasm, which I went to. Some guy asked, and some guy in a Master Shake costume.
Like a full Master Shake costume?
No, he was dressed as. Do you remember the live action episode?
Yes.
With H. John Benjamin. He's dressed as H. John Benjamin's character.
That's funny.
Yeah. That guy asked. He's like, because it was like seconds before we were gonna watch the movie. He was like, "Are we about to watch Death Fighter?" And Dave was like, "No, Death Fighter was never real. It's like there was never a script written for it." But Dave is more willing to be serious than Matt, because
Yeah.
Matt Malero will not be serious ever. And Matt Malero went on like a podcast like 2 weeks later and was like, "No, Death Fighter's gonna be like the third one." So
That's funny.
and people took it as gospel too, which is funny. But
All right, back on topic. Sorry.
no, but yeah, no, it's but yeah, that was my Aqua Teen question. But so yes, also they did a then they did the trivia contest, and so they were giving out animation cells, and I wanted an animation cell so fucking bad when I heard they were giving out some. And so before we did this, I watched the Mission Hill commentary, so I'd never actually watched before. And I took notes on all of them, so I took notes on every weird obscure fact that they talked about,
Yeah.
so I could try to memorize it. So the one that I had a huge feeling was going to be like one of the questions. I thought they were going to ask what Gus's celebrity crush was, and the answer is David Niven, which is like some celebrity from the 50s.
Sure.
And so that was my question. That was the one I kind of had locked and ready to go. But so the first question they asked was, "Hey guys, it's Bryce. So this right here is the part where we very stupidly give you answers to the trivia questions, and so I have gone back in and removed those answers so Bill and Josh won't be mad at me. So we're going to come back as I'm telling the story after I won the animation cell. So enjoy the rest of the podcast. Sorry about that."
Part 2.
Which is my favorite episode. So that was awesome. It's the cell of like
yeah, you got it.
it's like Andy walking into the interview, and he's got like the styrofoam like fake tooth in it.
And if you look close on the cell, you can see it. Which,
Yeah.
like, obviously, but you know.
Yeah, so I have it framed. By this point, it's already up. It's been up on the Twitter and on the Adult Swim merch archive for days by this point. So
No, that was the highlight of the night, just as like your friend. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
it was awesome. It was fucking crazy. So this is my first cell, by the way, because like Simpsons cells go for like $500, and like I've never
That
seen
sounds low.
Yeah, I've never seen a Mission Hill cell for sale like ever. So this was a fucking crazy get. I'm super happy about it. And also Mission Hill is one of the last shows to be like hand painted and like made on cells. So
Pretty sure they said it was the last one.
yeah, they said it's the last one. So I kind of believe that. I think it's true, because
I'm willing to believe it.
even Futurama is not on cells. But by the time Futurama comes around, because Futurama is like built on like CG vehicles and stuff,
I feel like I knew that.
and so
The intro is really CGE, right?
yeah, so Futurama is all like digital, and Futurama stays. God, dude, Futurama may have gotten canceled while The Simpsons was still doing cells, which is crazy, because Simpsons does cells all the way up to season 13.
Huh.
So
No, I thought they said they stopped right after, or was that just like for a little bit?
no, they did one episode of The Simpsons, because Bill and Josh, they did one episode of The Simpsons that was digital. It's Radioactive Man, season 7, episode 2. And they said it looks weird, and I agree, it looks weird, just like a lot of middle year Simpsons look weird, because it's just like it doesn't look as good. It doesn't look as good
Right.
when it's not on
I
cells.
agree. If you had asked me 3 years ago, I would have disagreed, but I do agree.
But
No, the cell's awesome.
Yes.
When we got out of the venue, you immediately were like, "Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that show is. I just know the name of it."
yeah, I did it because I have no idea. Still don't know what 30 something is. I just know that they said he was from that show in the commentary. He was like the boss of the characters on that show, and I just remembered it. I was able to pull it,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They didn't ask you for a summary. They just asked you for the name.
and it's fucking crazy. It's like it's very much one of my favorite Futurama quotes is a quote from Leela that I have it screen capped off not Frankiac. What the fuck is the there's a Futurama equivalent to Frankiac. I don't remember the name of it right now. But Frankiac is the thing where you can type in any word and it'll bring you up like every time that word is said on The Simpsons. So
That's cool.
you can type in you can type in like any Simpsons quote and it'll bring up that screenshot, and you can like edit the screenshots too to make it say
So
whatever
that's
you
how
want.
they make all the memes?
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't know that there was like a fucking website for it.
Yeah,
That's
it's called Frankiac. And there's a Futurama one, and I have the Futurama one where it's Leela going, this is by a wide margin the least likely thing that has ever happened. And I think about that quote all the time. It's a big joke with me and Hunter, other host of this podcast. Like we always send that screen cap talking about like 12 Ounce Mouse season 3 and stuff, because it is by like a wide margin the least likely thing that has ever happened, which is also true of me winning this fucking animation cell. Like, it was crazy. Didn't you say that like you just knew I was like you just
Yeah, I could feel it the second we got there. I was like, oh yeah, no, he's gonna win a cell.
like
I was like, yeah, he's got it.
I really thought I wouldn't. The questions were also pretty like easy. The third one
Would
was
you have known it?
yes, I did know it. Oh, I was like it was on the tip of my tongue. The third one was from the animatics, so it's from the same episode about like Posey manipulating everybody, and the question was, what is Jim's? Oh shit!
Jim's like favorite?
No. I'm saying, should we not be saying these?
Wait, what? Oh, just upload it in like, when's the tour end?
I don't know. Shit.
Hey, you know what?
We're not gonna say the third one.
We're gonna move on.
Yeah, we're not gonna say the third one. Bill and Josh, if these are the questions you always use, I'm sorry.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I completely.
Well, nobody who's gonna be at that event is going to watch this podcast in time. Or
Yeah.
very, very few people. So we're good. We don't feel bad.
Look, 15 people listen to this podcast anyway. Like, hi Hunter. You know what I mean? Like, nobody listens to this fucking podcast. It's fine. Yeah, I do this for myself. But
that's what I do with YouTube.
like I do this for myself. I really don't think anybody is going to listen to this. Except for maybe Bill and Josh, which in that case, I'm sorry.
That'd be fucking cool.
Yeah,
Bill and Josh, if you're listening, we're sorry.
Yeah. But so we're not gonna say a third one because apparently, the answer to I will say that DC was apparently the first time that anybody got the answers to the third one. They said that, which is very cool.
But the dude, no, it was the second time. But the dude got it in like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Which is funny.
I had them tip my tongue, but yeah, move on. Fucking. So are we?
Episode's a fucking mess.
No, this is a podcast.
No, it's fun.
Are you ready? Are you ready to talk about like the big thing that happened?
Yes.
Okay,
I've
so
been waiting. I just didn't know when to segue into it.
I was kind of wanting to save it for last. So this guy, so one of the famous jokes on Mission Hill is anus bars, because Jim brings back anus bars from Japan. And so this kind of like older looking like bearded guy has like Kit Kats with like tape on them that say anus bar on it, and he starts like handing them out to like Bill and Josh, and then Bill is like,
No, wait, you gotta tell the whole thing. There was who was the host?
What do you mean? Like
who put this together? What's his name? Because
Jeremy Ween.
Yeah, This My Show or whatever.
Yeah,
he was standing off to the side, and when the dude with the anus bar started walking towards the stage, he like walked over to. I don't know if you saw that. He like walked over to him to make sure he wasn't going to get on the stage.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, no, he was prepared to like be like, "Hey, dude."
Anyways, so this guy walks over and hands the candy bars to them, and then Bill says like, "Oh wow, he's like, this is the first candy I've ever accepted from a stranger," or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it turns out, and then Josh is like, oh my god, because it turns out the real guy that Jim Cuback, the character, is based on, showed up to this event.
Yep.
Because he was their roommate in college. And that's what they based the character on.
And they said they hadn't seen him since 1998.
Yeah, so we got to see them like reunite with their friend for the first time since 1998. So he gets up on the stage and he fucking drops his pants, and he's wearing the spicy pants from the second episode. It was fucking incredible. It was an incredible moment because
They were so happy.
They were so happy because like they had never seen this guy for like they did not know this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like this was totally unplanned.
And he said he tried to meet him at the Cincinnati location, but he couldn't make it in time.
Yeah, so I think him and he like flew out for this one. I think it was crazy. It was fucking insane. It was one of like the thing about I knew it was gonna be good just because it was a Mission Hill event, but like it truly does feel like every single thing that went right at this event.
Yeah, no, it was. I didn't think it was going to be like not fun or anything, but this was significantly better than I thought it was going to be.
The other thing,
it was awesome.
The other thing that we did last year is we saw Joe Pera Joe Pera do comedy live.
The 930 Club,
and I think this honestly does beat that for me.
Oh, I agree. As funny as Joe was, he was fucking funny. But yeah, no, it was just because we got to meet.
We got to fucking.
Yeah.
I got to meet
We got to
Bill
shake
fucking
their
Oakley.
hands and
Yeah,
shit.
I got to meet Bill fucking Oakley, and he signed like the Simpsons DVD that like full of the episodes that like he created that fucking like changed my brain thinks about comedy. Like that was insane. It was an insane fucking night. But yeah, it was just wonderful. We're definitely gonna do a second Mission Hill episode in the future because we love this show so much, and we're not. This isn't.
I do want Robbie to come.
Yeah, this isn't really talking about the Mission Hill show as much as it is just us talking about how much fun we had at the event and sort of like recapping what the event was like. But it was an amazing event.
If you're listening to this and they're still doing it, we heavily
They're doing
encourage
it.
you.
They're doing it at least for like a couple more times.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like we heavily encourage you to buy tickets if you can. It's a good experience.
Buy tickets, buy the DVD, buy it anywhere, fucking stream it. Go to Croomy Media on Instagram and buy the VHS from him because that's also a great way to experience it. It's just Mission Hill is the fucking best. Like I said, we're gonna do it. Like probably not anytime soon, but in the future we're going to do like a full like deep dive podcast on Mission Hill.
We revisit this show like once a year, so yeah, we'll definitely, do it.
We'll definitely do more Mission Hill. So I'm thinking after this, I'm probably gonna release like the King Star King episode with me and Hunter on it, and probably the Joe Pera Talks with You season 1 episode that's just me. I'm recording Smiling Friends with a very special guest sometime soon.
Yeah.
And then I also know that we are going to record an episode about Fooly Cooley sometime here soon.
You and I are also going to do the Metalocalypse movie.
Yeah, but that might not be until like 2024.
Fair enough.
Like, because we know Venture is coming out this year, but we have no.
Oh.
Were you thinking of Venture?
No, but you're right.
Like, we have absolutely no idea when Metalocalypse is coming out. And that's also like I don't think it's I hope
I didn't mean the movie. I meant Doomstar.
I mean, yeah, we could do that.
That's what I meant.
We could do that, but I don't want this to happen. But I'm kind of afraid that Metalocalypse is the most likely to get written off. Like,
what are the other ones? Is it just Metalocalypse and Venture we're waiting on now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Of the two of those,
because Venture is essentially done. And I don't think it'll get written off, knock on wood. If it does, I feel like Doc Hammer will just release it online. Because, like, he has no friends in the industry. I mean, he has friends in the industry, obviously. But, like, he's... I don't think Doc wants to keep doing TV.
This is magnum opus, dude. Just fucking drop it.
I don't think he wants to do TV. I think because he's just, like, a painter and a musician. I feel like he would just drop it online anyway.
Is the music any good?
I don't know. I'm sure it is.
I'll check it out.
I'm sure it is. But, yeah. So, you want to plug anything?
No, I'm still good.
Okay, you can follow me on. You can follow the podcast on Twitter on @OwlsOnlyPod. You can follow me on Twitter on @MouseFitzgerald without the D, and you can follow me on Instagram at adult_swim_merch_archive. I've posted all the Mission Hill merch that we got. I posted the poster, the button, posted the framed cell. You can go back and see the official hoodie and shirt I wore that I got from Spreadshirt. So yeah.
To top it off, Bill retweeted.
Yes,
our post.
Bill did retweet our post. We were very happy about that. But yeah, go buy tickets to this. Buy the Mission Hill DVD. Buy their official merch from their Spreadshirt store that's linked in their Twitter account. Fucking
just fucking all of it. Go support.
Yeah,
it.
Go support it. Go stream Joe Pera. Joe Pera Drifts Off with You on YouTube and Spotify. Go watch Ballmasters Rubicon on HBO Max. All that shit. All right, see ya.
Bye, guys.